Hey, what's up, guys? It's CalebBeg01, and thank you for joining me again for one of my random horror reviews. For today's episode, we have a movie that I have seen before, however, I haven't rewatched it probably since the year of its release, now that I think about it, so it has been a little while. But to be honest, I've been really wanting to check this one out again for the longest time. And being fair, it's not like this movie's a rarity or anything. I've seen it plenty of times in stores. And actually, on many occasions, I've been so fucking close to picking it up, but whatever the circumstance may be, I just never pulled the trigger for some reason. But finally got it in my possession and decided to rewatch it again today. So today's film is Wolf Creek 2. Trying to keep the glare off it there. Yeah, Wolf Creek 2. Now, I'm a big fan of the first Wolf Creek movie. I've seen that movie plenty of fucking times. I'm a big fan. However, as I said, I haven't rewatched this one in a while. I think I did actually check it out a couple of times upon its release, so this wasn't even a second time watch, maybe third time, something like that. But as I do keep saying it, it's been a little while since I checked this one out. But we'll get into the plot of Wolf Creek 2 now. Same setup as the first one. We have Mick Taylor roaming the Australian outback, looking for tourists who he normally picks up in his truck and ends up killing. In this one, we follow Paul, who is a tourist from the UK, and it's sort of one of those situations, just wrong place at the wrong time. He stumbles upon one of Mick's murder ploys and sort of makes Mick's job hard on him, being a nuisance and interfering and whatever. So Mick starts this whole cat and mouse chase out through the outback, trying to get revenge. So I'm going to leave the plot for Wolf Creek 2 there, and let's get into my thoughts of the movie now. Now, maybe starting off with an obvious point, but the first thing I want to bring up is John Jarratt's performance again as Mick Taylor. I mean, in the first Wolf Creek, he was outstanding, but he really does deliver again this time round. To be completely honest, I probably wish he had more dialogue in this movie or more face-to-face character interactions, but I don't want to take anything away from him because, again, he smashes it out of the park. I really just feel like John Jarratt has Mick Taylor down to a T and knows how to play this character inside and out. I want to see just Mick Taylor in more things. It's been 2 movies so far. I believe a third one comes out next year, which I'm really excited for. And if my memory serves me right, I think there actually was a Wolf Creek TV show as well. I'm not sure if it just played here in Australia, but you can probably find things online about it or episodes or whatever. But yeah, I want to see Mick Taylor in more things. I genuinely feel like he is an underrated horror icon. And I don't throw that term around loosely, but I really feel like he is. He just has this presence about him that's undeniable. He is like genuinely scary, but he also has this charisma and wittiness and, in a weird way, like charm and likability. I don't want anyone to read into that the wrong way. But I just think Mick Taylor is such a great character, and you can put that down to John Jarratt's performance. I think a lot of people also remember these Wolf Creek movies for being brutal, which, don't get me wrong, they are. Some hard to watch moments that will make you squirm, whether it's the gore or, I guess, torture elements that go into it as well. But I think a lot of people undermined how psychological these movies are as well, and how psychological Mick is as a character also. Because he looks at everyone like they are lesser than him. He needs to be top dog. And whenever someone is challenging him, whether they actually are or not, he always needs to reassert himself as top of the food chain. You know, look at examples in this movie. The police officers at the start that pull him over for doing nothing, they look at Mick as lesser, and of course he needs to get his one up again. But even later in the movie, when he's doing that History of Australia quiz with Paul, no matter what Paul answers, whether the answers are right or wrong, he feels like Paul is challenging him, and he doesn't want Paul looking down at him. He needs it the other way around. He needs to be top dog. And I just love the psychological elements of Mick's character also. I mean, his laugh, he laughs and it completely changes the scene, and you can feel the characters in this movie be uncomfortable just from, as I said, the way he laughs and his dialogue. I think it's incredible. I hear a lot of people, they probably are people who aren't from Australia, they say that his performance is too over the top, it's too Australian. But no, there genuinely are people like this. Like, I know people like this, more so off in the country, people that I could say are like friends with my pop who live off in that area. There are people who are this Australian, obviously not this evil, but I don't think it's over the top at all. Another character that I quickly want to get to as well, played by Ryan Corr, is Paul. Ryan Corr is like an Australian TV actor. He's not really known for doing too many movies, but it was really cool to see him in this one. He puts on this UK accent, but he does a really good job as well, and I just thought that was a really cool face to see. As I said, he's an Australian TV actor, doesn't do many movies, but I thought he was a really cool addition to this movie also. I feel like it is worth mentioning that this movie does have a little bit of a different feel compared to the first Wolf Creek. The first movie definitely is slower and has a more realistic, brutal, and gritty feel to it. Now, don't get me wrong, this one still has its brutal moments, as I said, some parts that are hard to watch, but overall, I would say that this one has a more fun and energetic feel to it, if that makes sense. With that being said, I'd still say that I prefer the first one over this one. I don't know. I guess I'm a more bleak and depressing person. I don't know. But it would have been interesting to see what kind of movie we would have on our hands if they went again with a more realistic approach. However, I'm completely not against what we got because it is cool to see everything amped up. Our characters, the situation, everything's turned to 11. There's more action. I have heard people say that they're not a fan of the first Wolf Creek movie, which is fine. They say that it's too slow or too boring, and though I don't agree, I completely understand and see what they're saying. But if you liked the setup and the idea of the first Wolf Creek movie, but just didn't like the pacing of it, you would like this one more because, as I said, it's a bit more balls to the wall, less realistic, less gritty, but the excitement is there. This movie, firstly, overall, just has a higher body count. There's more kills in this one. Definitely more of a cat and mouse element as well, especially for through the first half of this movie. It just kept changing up the flow, keeping you on your toes, keeping it fresh. It was road horror, car chases, a horseback chase, if that's a thing. It involved outside characters coming into the situation as well. It was refreshing, and they kept changing it up also. And overall, it played more into, I guess, a ridiculousness element of it. I don't want to say it was ridiculous because I don't feel like that's the word, but they definitely did go a little bit more over the top with this one. Now, as I just mentioned, I do like the first half of this movie. I like the whole cat and mouse element, the car chases, the action that they throw in there. I mean, there's a scene where kangaroos get fucking slaughtered and mowed down while The Lion Sleeps Tonight plays in the background. It's fucking crazy. It keeps you on your toes. It's fresh. Everything's amped up. It's really cool. But I would say I actually liked the second half of this movie more this time around. And the reason why I say this time around is because from what I remembered from this movie, it was actually vice versa last time. But the reason why I like the second half of this movie with this viewing is because there is more Mick. There's more Mick dialogue. There's more face-to-face interactions. We get to go deeper into his psychology, and you get to see his mind games that he's playing. That's where you have me hook, line, and sinker, when there's more Mick. With the final shot of this movie, the very ending, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm not sure if I fully understand Mick's choice. I'm not going to spoil anything. I guess it could come down to, that interaction he has with Paul where he says he's a man of his word. But I'm not fully sure I understand that choice. But that's the very, very end of this movie. But overall, I really do enjoy the second half. As I said, I have nothing against the first half. But where we get into Mick's psychology and his interactions and dialogue, as I said, that's where you have me sold because John Jarratt does such a great job. But overall, this is such an entertaining watch and definitely would recommend it for sure. I'm going to give Wolf Creek 2 a 7 out of 10. Just a really enjoyable watch. It could be a 7.5. I don't know. I'm floating somewhere around there. But as I said, if you liked the setup to the first one, but, it was a little bit too slow for you, this one's definitely suited for you. More amped up. Though I do like the first one more still, definitely would recommend this as a watch. So thank you guys for joining me again for one of my random horror reviews. This was actually one of my last random horror reviews for the year. Of course, I'll be continuing the series next year, but just because 2022 is coming to an end, this would be one of the last episodes. I know that I'm going to at least have one more episode before the year's up because I want to release something on Christmas. So I thought I'd watch one of my Christmas related horror movies, or at least a horror movie set on Christmas, and put it out for you guys then. But I'm really appreciative for everyone who comes to my channel and watches my videos, all my subscribers, my new ones and my old ones. Thank you for the support and the love that you guys show my videos. I appreciate everyone who likes my content, everyone who comments. I'm having a lot of fun chatting with these guys in the comments, whether it's about movies or just stuff in general. I'm just very appreciative for all the support. If you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I'm planning on having some really cool content come out in 2023, especially January, so keep your eyes peeled for that, guys. But again, just very grateful for all the support, guys, and I hope everyone is having a good and safe December, and I'll see you guys for another video soon. Peace.